Welcome to the #Attitudeshield podcast, the true mental operating script rewriting program designed for those looking for a change from within. No more hype or sugar-coated promises. This is to-the-point guidance on how to change the way we think to grab the life we always wanted. Are you ready for the change? Now your host, David L. Parker.
Hey, welcome to the next episode of #Attitudeshield. I am David L. Parker. I'm very humbled that you're here. Due to request, we are chatting this week about relationships. And if I may seem a little energetic in the moment, it's really simple. I just recorded the whole thing, and I do have notes, but I don't have script. So what happens? I'm sitting here, and I'm watching a couple of things, and I look up and down, and I realize that I'm not recording. So basically, I've already done this whole episode and missed it. That's just the way it goes, right? Yesterday, previously, if you will, the show before this one, we were talking about how you have to be great with yourself. You have to be great alone before you can be good with somebody else. You have to be comfortable in your own skin. You have to be basically hanging out with your own crap. You have to figure out how to be good alone and then become great alone. And if you're great alone, standing on your own 2 feet, then you'll be fantastic with somebody else. Without that piece, then you're just going to be 2 poly bags of crap, like I said yesterday. It's a beautiful morning here in the Black Hills. The sun is coming up over my right shoulder to the east, which is the direction of Sturgis. A few more months and Raleigh will be here. Previous episode, we talked about this is not my most comfortable topic. You know, they talk about when you do these kind of things, what can you riff about for 20 minutes? And there's probably 1,000 topics that I could sit and chat with you with almost no notes about, especially when it comes to #Attitudeshield, especially when it comes to understanding how to rewrite your mind operating script. Because we already know, told you this before, that if you don't, if the one you have was going to take you to your level of success, the one, the operating script you're working on, you version whatever, 25.0, could take you to that level of success. It already would have. And since it hasn't, we better rewrite it. We better get an upgrade, update and an upgrade, right? You got to learn how to talk to yourself, because you'll never talk to anybody more than you talk to yourself. It's just not possible. Because every time you say a word, you hear it. Now, if you don't say the right things, it's going to go crazy. And it's going to, you can literally talk yourself into a mess, which is part of the message for today. This is not my most comfortable topic, but by request on the request line, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go down this road. So the first step, the first building block of a great, amazing relationship, coming from a guy who's already screwed up multiple marriages. Wait, did you hear that? I said, and I quote, coming from a guy whom screwed up several marriages. There was no blame on them. I take personal responsibility for what I do. It's my challenge. It's my situation. Yes, they were involved. Yes, they did their part. But that's not how you work a good operating script in your head, by pointing out the things other people do. We run down this bunny trail. I find it amazing how many people have children and bash the children's other parent in a relationship and out of a relationship. That is some terrible head trash. Terrible. I mean, just amazing. But they do that because they were no good alone before they got involved. They were no good alone. So we're such in a hurry. Remember when we were teenagers, we had those teenage crushes, and it was so intense. And this is the person that I'm going to love my entire life. I am 14 years old. How many of those work out? It's funny. The emotions, when you first get involved in a relationship, are so powerful. They're called eros. Eros is basically the love of lust, if you will. So powerful that the Greeks called eros a god. And there are people who are addicted to that eros. And they bounce from person to person to person to person to person because they want that high. Ooh, I got eros. I've got this amazing tingly sensation and motivation. And just, I just love them. Matter of fact, I used to have a bartender that been in a relationship for a couple, 3, 4 weeks and already had a picture of her boyfriend on the phone. When he would call, it says, I love him. Yeah, there's no eros there. Eros is not something that's going to take you long term. Let's get off of eros because, he's had enough. You have to be good with yourself, great with yourself to be good in a relationship. You can't talk negative about your partner. See, because the first thing we need to do is we need to understand that love, we're going to pull the power out of the word. We're going to reach into this acronym. We're going to pull it apart. We're going to do it. So love as an acronym would stand for loyalty over victory every time. That's how I look at it. Loyalty over victory every time. Why? Because you got to be loyal to that person. If you ever love somebody, ever, you should still be a little bit loyal to them, even if it's in the past. My 2 youngest children's mother, we've been divorced a long time. Gee, I'm thinking about it. Could be, I think we got divorced around 1995. So we're looking at 21 years. I don't bash her. I think she's an incredible human being. She's built an amazing real estate business. She has done some significantly marvelous things. She has her own coaching program where she coaches people on how to do wonderful in real estate. She made a plan, she made a target, and she went after them, and she got them. Period. And she continues to do so, which is incredible. And she is the mother of 2 of my children. And that's it. No animosities. No, I have to put this person down to be better than that person. And because I'm still loyal. Because I'm willing to be loyal over being victorious. I'm not in a competition. I hope she makes $1 billion. I hope that she has a life beyond anything I could ever imagine for her. Now, do you feel that way in the relationships you're starting? Are you looking at love and saying, how can I be loyal and just be great to this other person beyond anything else? Most people don't think of it that way. They don't look at it as a second person, the person coming into the relationship. They don't look at dating. They don't look at hanging out. They don't look at hooking up. They don't look at any of this as, my long-term plan here. They don't have the basic building blocks at all. It's all about that eros. Ooh, let me tell you what, that girl right there, right? No. Now, yes, that's where it starts. I remember vividly sitting on the back porch of my future brother-in-law's house. I did not know at all what was going to happen. And my amazing bride, before I'd met her, walked by and I was like, ooh, hello, lady, right? In my head. Because I thought she was and is the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. I was just like, holy mackerel. And guess what? I still tell her that today. I don't miss a chance to tell her I love her. I don't miss a chance to tell her how beautiful she is. I don't miss a chance to tell her how I'm attracted to her. Because I'm loyal to her. I want her to be successful. And again, her success has nothing to do with my definition of success. She has to decide it for herself, a building block of a relationship. Each person has to have their own piece of the relationship built a certain way or the relationship doesn't work. Now, loyalty over victory every time is one of the understanding, one of the operating script, type it in your head, right? Things that you need to have that you need to understand before you even get into a relationship for a significant other. got to be willing to share something. You got to have something that endears them to you and you to them. When you're building a relationship, I always tell people when they're interviewing people for jobs and employers and team builders that, listen, most people can put on a facade for about 6 weeks. After about 6 weeks, they've forgotten what their facade is and the true them shows through. So when you're sitting back having a cup of coffee that you bought me, you can see through the facade. So speaking of that, if you're enjoying the show, want to support the show, you click the link below in the description. That'd be great. Buy me a cup of coffee. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the link so you know when the videos come out. They come out Monday through Friday. Right? If we can share on your social media, get other people watching the show, maybe we can impact people together. If I impact one every single day, that's 365 a year. If you impact one a day, it's 365 more a year. 730 people, just 2 of us doing something. Now, what happens if everybody does it? Share it on our Instagrams, our Facebooks, our Twitters, our social medias. Maybe we can do that. And by the way, thank you for the cup of coffee. Just click the link below. So these basic building blocks is understanding that love is an acronym, love. And then you got to understand the next thing. After you understand that love equals loyalty over victory every time, that now it's an action. Love is an action. It's the way you present things. The other night we had a wedding party in the bar that I run, and they showed up late. They walked in the bar at 12:30. I walked out at 3:30. Doesn't matter. The point of it is, I'm watching this bride. She's in my bar with her wedding dress on. And the groom is there, and all the groomsmen and the people and the parents, and they're having a grand old time. But watching their body language, I didn't see a brand new married couple. I saw a woman in a gown who was definitely the princess of the ball, and she should be. And she was definitely had a 5, 6, 7, 8 drinks more than she probably should have had. No, not in my place. I'm just saying she definitely was tipsy. And she was kissing other men in the room. That's an action. And the groom was laughing, and he was like, well, kiss that one too. You know, that might be their thing. But see, there's this thing called your heart. Remember, we've talked about this, the heart and the head conflict. They might be funny to watch your significant other do that. It might be arousing, right? But it's damaging your heart because that action going on is not exactly what we're talking about. The action I want to talk to you about is speaking about your significant other as they are and as you want them to be. I've been speaking over mine. And when I say over, I'm not talking about overlording. I've been speaking about how she's this, and this, which she is, and that, and that, which she isn't, and she became all the thises and all the that's. Now, what is that supposed to mean? There's no perfect person. There's no perfect match. Oh, you're my soulmate. Okay, that might be true, but your soulmate may have a few things that they both want to be better at. Okay, I love talking. I love crowds. I love hanging out. I love being up on stage. I love working with people. My wife, not so much. Before. Wait, what? Right. Not so much before, but I spoke about it as if she had the skill, as if she had the ability, as if she already had everything I'm talking about. She could do it. She could talk to people. She could be all these things, and she became that. Right. She was not happy with the fact that she wasn't good in big crowds, that she couldn't come up on stage and talk because she couldn't do certain things. But I talked as if she did. I would literally say, my wife's amazing on stage. Crowds eat out of her hand. They love her to death, and she's confident when she wasn't. And now she is. That's an action. I'm literally speaking a new strength into her life. When we talk, When we communicate, we speak about things as if they're going to be. Well, you should speak about your significant other that way also. You should also say things that they hear, especially if those things help them overcome some insecurities. I learned this a long time ago. My mentor, Rick, and his wife had put on some weight. And Rick had on his fridge this list of affirmities, things he was going to say every day about his wife. And one of them was he loves her body. And he spoke that out loud every single day. And his life changed. 35 years of marriage, and they weren't 15 years old when they got married. He's 75 years old now. He has some challenges with his physical situations. But they spoke those things into existence over each other, and it strengthened their marriage. It strengthened their relationship. Speak about your significant other as you want them to be. Speak as if it already is. And take action in your relationship. Be proactive. My wife and I, my amazing, amazing bride and I, have a pretty interesting routine. We get up every morning together. We had a custom-built shower put in our house that fits two comfortably, 2 shower heads, the whole 9 yards. And we start our day off with a shower and a conversation about what we're going to do today, what's on the agenda, what do the boys need to do, what does she got going on, what do I got going on. And we discuss this, and then we bring up anything else we need to talk about. So we take an action in the morning. Our action in the morning is to be together, communicating and listening, planning. Because most people don't. Most people run off in 2 different paths. They don't get out of bed at the same time. They don't have coffee together. They don't have breakfast together. She runs off to take care of the kids, or she runs off to her career. Maybe she's a lawyer, a doctor. She's off doing her thing. And maybe he's got a landscaping company, or he's a car salesman or whatever, and runs off to do his thing. And their morning ritual was, hey, good morning. How are you? Nice to see you. Or maybe it's just like, morning, dear. Coffee and out the door. And then they wonder why a few years later they don't like each other. You know, my wife and I ran restaurants together. People would say to us all the time, how could you guys work together all the time? And I would think, well, why can't you? And I hear people say, well, I could never do that with my significant other. Well, great. Now that you've said it, now that you've spoke it, you're telling the truth. You can't do it. Why don't you speak that you can, first of all, take an action that's appropriate, proper, and speak positively of people. Second, why would you want to be in a relationship? Now, here's the thought process. This is before. Remember, we talked previously, you got to be great with yourself to be good with somebody else. But why would you want to choose to be with somebody else that you wouldn't run a business with? You think raising children isn't a business? You think it's not going to take a lot of effort and action? Action, action, action. It's going to take more action than you can possibly imagine. If you don't have kids. And if you have kids, you know what I'm saying. If you're a single parent, you really understand what I'm saying. But the first steps, great with yourself to be good with somebody else, understanding that love is a powerful acronym that demands action consistently, and speaking about your significant other as if they're going to be, as if they are, as if they're going to be, and what they're going to be, and speaking as if they are, speaking about what they are. My wife is a beautiful, amazing woman, smoking hot, right? Love her to death. I mean, I really do. But I speak that. We don't miss opportunities to tell each other we love each other. We don't get off the phone without an I love you. We don't leave the house without a kiss and I'll talk to you in a minute. Never. We take the action. Even this morning, I'm in here working, right? Because, you know, if you know me, I'm working to finish my degree to get on with my master's here. And she comes across the house, down the hallway into the office, because the office is on one side of the house and the kitchen's on the other side of the house. I mean, this is literally the outside wall. This used, at one time, this room right here, you can see it in the video, was a walled-in porch. These walls didn't even have insulation in them. So we've been remodeling in here. Anyway, so she came from this side, that side of the house, all the way to this side of the house, just to tell me to have a great day, give me a kiss, tell me she loves me. I respond. We talk a little bit. She spent a minute right here, a minute of her life here talking to me, and then she went off and went to what she went to go do. We never miss the opportunity to do that. We never leave to go shopping or anything without connecting with each other. We take the time to take the action to make connection happen all the time. All the time. People miss that. That's part of what it takes. That's the beginning of what it takes. We've only talked about the first couple of building blocks here. You got to be great with yourself to be good with other people. Love is an acronym, loyalty over victory every time. And that love is an action. It's a way of speaking and doing things that other people won't do. All right, we'll talk to you on the next episode. Remember, keep those attitude shields up. Block that negative crap out of your life. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't want it. You can't. There's no room for it. And you're never going to speak to anybody more than you speak to yourself. So you better remember to say the right things. All right? We'll see you on the next one.
You've been listening to Attitude Shield, your double dose of espresso for your attitude. Check us out on Facebook and on the web at www.attitudeshield.com. Again, thanks for spending this time with us. Between now and when we talk again, keep those shields up, eyes on the target, and always be moving towards your dreams.